Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you have all done the previous assignment given. In this tutorial I will be showing the correction to that. Then after that we'll move on to the next topic, which is introduction to div and span and attributes of adding image to your web page. This is where we stop in our last tutorial. I will be creating another file to make the correction. Then after that we'll move to the next topic. So I'm just going to create another file here, then I'll name it underwater underscore life.html. Let me collapse this. Now I won't be saying anything, but just follow the way and observe the way I'm writing the code. So for those of you that was unable to do the assignment or didn't get how to do it the exactly way it was sent to the group, this is the correction, and let's do it again if you are unable to do it. So this is the correction. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic, which is how to use div and span. Divs and span is mostly used when working with CSS, but we can also use it when working with only HTML. The way we can use it is when we work with inline styling. So this content we have here, we are going to use divs and span on it, and we are going to see how we can do inline styling with div and span instead of creating a CSS file. So we'll get to that too. We will know how to use CSS and our HTML, because CSS is more advanced than using inline styling. But for learning purpose, we are going to use the div and span to format this content, and we are going to give it some inline styling. To make this content more standard, I'm just going to demarcate them with some tags. So this is the header of our web page. Header. This is the header of the web page. So I'll just cut this and Ctrl X and paste it here. So this is the header. Then I'm going to come down here and make this the main of the web page. This is the main content of the web page. And let me cut this. Ctrl X, scroll down and paste it here. Ctrl Z. Okay, so let me create the footer of the page, because in a page we have the header, we have the main page, and we have the footer. So I'm going to create the footer. Let me call the footer tag, and I'll just write, let me write underwater h2. Let me use h2 tag. Underwater life. Okay, let me save this. So this is the footer of the page. This is the main, this is the header of the page. This is the main, and this is the footer of the page. So once I save and go to the web page now and refresh, nothing is going to happen here because we have not give it any style. We are just demarcating those content for now. Okay, so now let's come to the use of divs and span inside this web, inside this main content. Let's say we want to give this particular heading a style, like we want to give it a color or a size. I'm just going to call the div span. I'll call the div span, that's div. Let me call this Ctrl X and paste it under it. Ctrl V. So I'll call the div tag. So, and I'll give it some inline styling. Let's say I want to style it as, I want to give it a color of red style. I'll call the tag style, and inside this style I'll call the color the attribute color. The color attribute. So once I click on that, I will give it a color of red. So once I save this and go back to the web page and refresh, the diversity of marine ecosystem changed to red. I hope you guys are getting it. Okay, so that is how you can use the div. And also the span. To use the span is used in between a div tag. For now, let's say inside this, the diversity of a marine kingdom, I want to pick a particular part like this marine ecosystem now and give it a different format, a different formatting, we are going to use the span. So let me call the span tag span and close it. Span. So I'm just going to cut this and paste it to the ending. Ctrl X and paste it here. So now you can also give this marine ecosystem its own styling inside the div tag. So to do that, I'll just call the style tag and call the color attribute. Let's say I want to give it a color of blue. Okay, let's give the color of blue, and I want to change the size. I'll just say font size. I'll give it a font size of let's say 30 pixels to check for now. I'll save it and go back to the web page and refresh. You can see that the marine ecosystem has changed in size a bit, and the diversity of still remain its own colors, its own formatting. So that's how you can use the div and span. Now this header, I'm going to give it a background of red, and I'll change the font color of this exploring underwater. So to do that, I'll just come here and call the style. Then inside the style, I'll give it a background color. I'll give the background color of red. So once I save and refresh this, let me go to the web page. Once I save and refresh, the background has a red color automatically. So to set this exploring underwater life to the middle, that's to centralize it, we are going to centralize the text by calling this tag font position text align. We call the tag text align, txt, then align. Then we'll set it to center. So once I save and refresh this and go back to the web page, the heading is being centralized to the center of the web page. So we have the exploring underwater life. Now let's come to this footer of the page also. I also want to set this underwater life to the center of the page and give it some background color. Let us say for now I'll give the background color of brown. Okay, so let me go to the VS Code and move to the footer of the page. So this footer, I'm going to give it a style of, let's say background color first. Background color brown. Let's use brown, and I'm going to set it the text align. I'll set it to center also, center of the page. There are a lot of attributes you can use, but for the purpose of this tutorial I'm going to use this. So once I save and refresh, then it's going to be formatted. You can see that the underwater life is being centralized. So that is that. Also, you can also use the div and span in this way. Let's go back to the code. Let's say all this main content now, from this main, you know that I gave it a style color of red. I give this heading, only this heading, a style color of red. Let's say I want to also format the rest of the content, like the rest of the paragraphs and headings. I will come here under this one, I'll call another div and span, another div tag. So I'll cut this, Ctrl X, come to the last part here, because that's where I choose to. You can choose to paste it anywhere, but I'm going to paste it here for now. Then I'll give this div its own styling. Let's say I want to make the color of all this text to be let's say red. I'll come here and call the style tag. I'll call the color attribute. I'll give it a color of what should we use? Okay, let me use cyan. Aqua. So once I save and refresh the page, it becomes okay. So let's say I want to format all these text like this word ocean. I want to format them, all the text. So let's say I want to give it a blue color. Then all this heading also, some colors. Let's say I want to give it a red color. I'm going to go to the main tag inside the code and do that. So once I come here under this main, we have already formatted the heading. So I'll just come here and call the div tag. So I'll call the div tag. Let me close it. I'll cut this place, Ctrl X, and stop here. This is a particular paragraph here, so I'll paste it here, Ctrl V. So this tag here, I'm going to give it a style of, I'll call the color attribute color and give it a color of what color did I say the other time? Red. Once I save and refresh, let me save and refresh the page, it becomes red. Okay, this red looks somehow. Let's give it a color of blue. Let me give it a color of blue. So let me call this blue. You can use any color we choose to use. So this is for practice. Once I refresh it, it's become okay. It's become blue. So now I want to change this, protecting our ocean, marine species. I want to change those headings to red. So this is what I will do. I'll also use the div tag. I'll use the div tag from here. I stopped here. Okay, so protecting our ocean, I'll call another div tag, that is div Ctrl Z, div. So I'm just going to cut this and paste it to the end, Ctrl X. We have the heading, the paragraph, the list, so on onto this unordered list here. So I'm going to paste it here, Ctrl V. So Ctrl S. I'm going to give it a color of, I said I want to give them a color of red. So I'll use span to do the rest. This is the way I can do the formatting. I'll call the style tag again, style color, then I'll give it red. So automatically everything will become red. Once I refresh the page, everything will become red. So now to change this, it's crucial, and the rest of the text to blue color or any other color you choose, I'll use the span tag to do that. So let me go back to the VS Code. From here, from this paragraph, I'll call the span tag SPAN. Let me just cut this. Ctrl X and paste it here, the end of this paragraph, Ctrl V. I'll give it a styling and call the color attribute style. I'll give it a color of blue. We are using blue. Ctrl S. Once I go back to the page and refresh, it becomes blue. So you can leave this whale, shark, dolphins, octopuses as it is, or you can give it any color you want by ourselves. So to do that, we are going to come here under this marine and call the span tag again, that's span Ctrl Z span. Let me cut this and paste it under Ctrl X. So I'll just paste it here, Ctrl V. And I'm going to give it a styling of, where do I stop? I stop here. Okay, here. So give it a style of what? Let me call the color attributes. I'll give it a color of, we are using blue. You can choose any color you want, just like I said earlier. So once I save and refresh and go back to the page, it becomes blue. So this is how we can use divs and span to make our content or the page look more standard. So there are also more standard ways of doing it. You can go online and explore more knowledge on how to use div and span and HTML generally. Okay, so I hope you guys understand all I've been explaining. So now, to this code looks kind of scattered and bulky. So to do the auto arrangement, I've already tell you what you can press on your keyboard before, but I'm going to say it again. Just simply press Alt, Shift and F. So once you press that, everything is going to auto arranged in a way that you understand it, instead of making it look bulky. And if your code is too long, you can come here and click on this tag here to close some of it. Let's say you want to close this heading, this head here, you just press this arrow and close it. When you need it again, when you want to make some editing, you open it back. Let's say this heading here again, I want to close it. I'll just simply click here. If I want to open it again, I'll click it on it again. So that is how you can auto arrange your content. So moving on to the next topic, which is attribute of adding image to a web page. So now I'll be adding the image of a marine scope, and what we have here, we have the marine species. I'll be adding image of whale shark, I'll be adding image of dolphins, I'll be adding image of octopus and manta rays. So stay tuned and see the way I'm going to do that just in a bit. Now I have all the images I needed that I want to use downloaded on my desktop. They are right in my desktop now, so I'm going to drag and drop them inside my file, or I'll just copy them and paste them inside the file I'm using for the HTML creation. So for those of us using phone, you can just do the same thing. The file you are working on, you are going to import image into it. You'll see a tag for importing a path for importing images from your phone into the file. So I'm just going to drag that now and paste it inside the file I'm using, inside the folder I'm using, folder rather. So this is what I'm working on. I'll just open this tag here, and this title bar here. After opening it, I'll go to my desktop. I have those images downloaded on my desktop, so I'm going to go to my desktop now. So these are the images. I'm going to select some of them. I'll select this, and then I'll drop it here. Then I'll go to the next one. I'll select, let me select them together. I'll select this, I'll select this and this. There's one more images I need to say. Okay, those are the images we need. So once I drag and drop it here, everything is going to be inside the folder we are working on. So I'll close this, let me close this and continue. So once I have dropped those images here, for us to add images to web page we are working on, these are the things we are going to do and the tag we need to call. Okay, so we are going to come to the part we want to add the image. So now we come to this marine species. We are going to add the shark image first. So under this shark image, we are going to call the tag called img. So let's call the tag img. So img, then one of the attributes of the image tag is src, which is the source. Once you click on that, you are going to it's going to bring out this automatically, or if it didn't bring it out, you just write equals to then the double quotation. So now that I have called the source tag, I'm just going to open the tag so I can see the name that I want to call. So now we are going to add the wheel, and I have named it the name of the image as wheel.png here. So inside this source, I'm just going to call the wheel.png image. So .png is the extension. So now I'm going to give it an alt name, and I will tell you the reason why I'm giving it a alt name shortly. So the alt name is wheel, but the name of the image we're adding is wheel. So once I save this and go to the web page and refresh, you can see that the whale image has appeared, but it is very big. So now to reduce the size, we are just going to call the width tag, that give it a width of, let's give it a width of wdt which of 30, let's say 30 pixel. Okay, once I save and refresh this, the image will shrink down. So you can see now that it's very small, and this is also too small. So to give it a accurate image, let's say pixel of 150. Okay, let's say 150. Let's check that. So once I give it a pixel of 150, okay, I think this is okay. Or to make it more good, I'll give it 200. So once I save and refresh, so the width is 200. So this is very okay. So now moving on to the next part, which is dolphin. I'll name it here as dolphin.png. I'm just going to copy this to make things fast. Okay, now the reason why I said I want to use, I'm going to tell you the function of this auth. Let's say we are loading the page and the page hasn't loaded completely. I'm just going to remove that G and save so that you can see what I'm saying. Once I refresh, the name will be displayed here. So maybe you are loading your page and the page has not completely loaded. This is the first thing it's going to display. So you have known that, okay, this place is a whale image that's going to come up there. So that is the function of that auth. So now let me complete it back as png and save. Ctrl S. Let me save it and go back there. Once I save, it's going to come back. So that is it, the function of the auth. So now I'll just copy this now and move it to the next part. We are pasting it. Ctrl C. So we are adding the image of dolphin nest. So that's Ctrl V, and I name it as what? dolphin.png. So also I'm going to paste the octopus. Ctrl V. What did I name that? I think, yeah, octopus. I name it octopus.png. And also the last one, which is manta. Ctrl V. Manta rails. So what did I name that? I name it manta. Okay, so that's all. Once I save and go back to the web page and refresh, they are all going to appear there. So this is our web page now. We have the whale, we have the dolphin, the octopus, and the manta. So I want to give this web page a background, like I will give it a background of the ecosystem. So I'm going to do that now. Let me move back to my VS Code and collapse this, because I name it, the background I want to add, I name it what, I name it marine.jpg. It's a JPEG file. So to do that, I'm just going to collapse this so that we can have a better view and go to the heading. So I'm going to, inside this body, I'm going to call the style tag that style and call the background color, the background image, or simply say background. So I'm going to add the name of that background I want to add to it. So now I'm going to call the style again now, the style. So once I call the style, I'm going to call the background image. So I'm going to give it a background image, and we are not using color. So to add a background image, we are going to use URL. So URL. So inside this URL, you are going to write the name there, and the name is marine.jpg. That's JPG. Once I save this and refresh, it's going to come out on our web page. So let me go to the web page now. Let me refresh the web page. Okay, that's already displayed here already. So once you refresh it, it's going to come out, and we notice that these names are already rhyming with the background image. So I'm going to give them white color instead of blue, all the text there. So let me go and change that from blue to white. So I'll change this to white, and also I'll change this also to white. I'll change this to white. What blue do you have again? Okay, we have blue here also. I'll change it to white so that it can look more adorable. So now I'll change this also to white. Also have white here. Do you have any other blue again? No, there's no any other blue. So once I save this and refresh, let me go back to the web page. You can see that they have all become white. So this is how we can use the div and span and also add image to our web page. So this is the header of the page, and this is the content of the page. This is the image that we add. We add the whale, the dolphin, the octopus, and the manta rays. And there's also one thing we can also do. This heading, this header, we can also make it fixed, like when scrolling it's not going to move away from where it is. So to do that, I'm going to go to my VS Code again, go to the code and do that. So this is how we can do it. So now I'm now in the header. This is the header. The exploring underwater life is the header. Inside the header, I'm going to call the attribute position. So I'm going to give it a position. I'm going to position it to a particular place. So to position it, I'll just give it a fixed position. Fixed. Position. I'll give it a fixed position. So once I save this and go back to the page and refresh, okay, don't let us use fixed. We are going to use, let's use sticky. That's the alternative. We are going to use position sticky. So once I save this and refresh, you can see that okay, hold on, it's not fixing. Okay, I'm going to use position fix. So I'm going to use position fix here. Position fixed. So I'm just going to give it a width, because once I leave it like this, let me save and go to the page, Ctrl S and go to the web page and refresh. It's going to look somehow. So to cover the rest of the page, I'm going to give it a width of 100%. Then go back to my VS Code. The width of 100%. So once I give it a width of 100% and go back to the code and refresh, it's going to cover up the empty space. So we see that it's covering some of those content. So to do that, we are going to add a break to it. So let me add a break to those content is covering. So it's covering from this exploring, okay, from the diversity. So now I'm going to add a break from here, because the break tag is used to go to the next line. So let me add 2 break tag to it. PR, Ctrl S, and go to the web page. So you can see that it's coming down, but it's not good enough. I'm going to add more break to it. I'm going to add more breaks. So let me add 1 more or 2 more breaks to it. That's BR for moving to the next line. So once I save and refresh, it's going to look good now. So I think this is okay now. So we have exploring underwater life, the diversity of marine kingdom, and we have our footer. So this is how you can use those information we have learned so far to create web page. So see you in the next video. The assignment will be passed shortly to the group. That's the assignment we are going to do. Goodbye.